I felt that it was finally time to discuss the current situation with Kotaku, Deadspin, and their parent company, G&O Media. Now, not a lot is known at this point. There is a lot of information that is not public currently, but I felt that it was important to discuss the points that we do know. I know that a lot of people dislike Kotaku since a large majority of their writers inject their political opinions into topics that really didn't start out political. But I do think that it is important to talk about since Kotaku is one of the largest websites in the gaming space, and even though we may not like them, they have been around for a very long time. Now, there are two situations currently going on with Kotaku, Deadspin, and G&O Media, which I will be discussing since they are being lumped together and it has created a lot of confusion since it is difficult to figure out which came first, but I will do my best to keep this quick and clear, and then I will tell you all my thoughts on the situation afterwards. One of the current situations stems from a form of monetization that Geo Media decided to adapt into their websites, where they started placing autoplay video commercials with audio enabled into their pages. These changes were met with a very poor response from not only staff but readers as well, and seeing as it was one of the only ways to voice their distaste, staff from these sites actually started protesting against these changes on social media and also in their articles. And looking at Kotaku, Jason Schreier decided to post an article that said emails and forms of media where you could go and complain to their management team if you dislike these new changes. And that actually turned out to be a very bad move since that article and similar ones were actually taken down and privated by G&O Media with no approval from editors, but they did say that a contractual vote happened so they could legally remove the posts without permission. But the staff of these websites are already having quite a lot of problems with their management since apparently some time ago there were notices handed off to staff of Deadspin and Kotaku that, from what we're told, said keep political beliefs and opinions out of content. Staff for Deadspin, for instance, was told to keep to sports reporting because Deadspin was created to discuss sports and discuss sports on their website, even though they ended up down the line creating content that ventured away from sports. And after this happened, staff started voicing their distaste with the situation, which that is when Barry Petschke, an editor for Deadspin, ended up being fired for, in his own words, not sticking to sports. And of course, after that happened, Jason Schreier posted this statement on social media saying, I don't know what is going to happen next, but to everyone who has read and supported our work at Kotaku over the years, thank you. Kind of making the point and putting the point on the table that maybe Kotaku won't be around for much longer, or most of the writers that we do know will end up leaving Kotaku, so it will be brand new management, but also brand new writers. Those two situations have both led to staff being really upset with G&O Media, which has led to this point. We really don't know at this point how many other people were fired from Deadspin, or if any were fired from Kotaku, or just in general how many have left due to their own choice. But I think that we all know why a lot of people dislike these sites, and it's not hard to see why. It is because all they do is inject their political opinions into articles, and even their unpopular opinions by creating a clickbait title, yet when you read the content, there's only a small section that actually pertains to the rest of the content. And unfortunately, I think that we all know why these writers do it. For clicks. When you are placing your personal opinion into something, or when you title it as blatant clickbait, it will get you more clicks, and that is most likely why Deadspin and Kotaku started doing this. Their content has increasingly become more political, and it's almost sad that this is what their websites have become. They have gotten to the point where they can't get clicks otherwise. They know that it is going to cause outrage, which brings in views from people who are pissed off at the headline. And I have no doubt that a lot of what these journalists are writing are things that they actually believe in, but it could be the case that they are just writing things that they do not wholeheartedly believe in, but they know it gets views for a website that has been on the decline. Now, why I don't feel bad is because all of this time they could have been creating quality content, then they could have never went down this path. They could have stuck to what they originally were, and maybe people would have respected them more at this point. They have created a very inconsistent platform for themselves. On one day, you could go to their website and find content that strictly has to do with video games, yet the next day you may go to their website and find yourself having to listen to their thoughts on the current president or petty insults to people that might not agree with their political views. I have always taken a stance against injecting politics into gaming, and I will continue to stand by that. And there is the argument that they are doing this and that they are protesting against the company above them because they want readers to have freedom and they're fighting back against larger corporations. And I just think that's kind of bullshit. I think that they are doing this because they want to write a very specific way, and if they do not protest against it, then they can't anymore. They're voicing their distaste not for our viewing freedom, but for their own writing freedom, which I think is okay to do. I just think that we should recognize why they are doing it and not give them credit where it is not due. When your editors tell you you need to write articles in a very specific way that contain no political stances, and you disagree with that, you need to either follow that or leave and possibly start your own website that hosts that content. I personally think what Kotaku brings to the industry is bad and is potentially very damaging. They are not treating games as what most people do, and that is a form of escapism. They are treating it as a market that they can capitalize on by injecting hot topics that people deal with in their everyday lives, like politics, into what is supposed to be an enjoyable hobby. That leads to dividing people based on what their beliefs in real life are, and that just isn't healthy. People do not play games to be force-fed an opinion or to be told if their opinion is wrong. No one should read a gaming article and feel belittled because their opinion is different than the writer's. Believe me when I say this, I am not happy that people could potentially be losing their jobs. I am not happy that a few good writers could be taken down along with the bad ones. But there is just no way to defend Kotaku at this point because of the content that the site provides, and also because of the way that most of their writers act. I don't think Kotaku will suddenly disappear, but would it really be bad if they did? That is all that I wanted to discuss today. Of course, if more information develops in this situation, I will let you guys know on Twitter, so make sure to be following me there. And also, I will make another video if the information arises, but if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like, and of course, if you did not, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.